Education is our passport to the future, for tomorrow belongs to the people who prepare for it today. Welcome. I'm Leah Jari from first year MBA. It's my pleasure to introduce our resource person for the second day FDP session, Dr. Mamata S. Upadhyaya. Ma'am has 23 years of teaching experience. She has 60 publications in SCI indexed journals. She has published one book in Elsevier. Currently, she has 895 citations and H Index 18. She's also reviewer for various peer-reviewed journals. Her research interest includes areas such as density fluid, nanofluids, non-Newtonian fluids, hybrid nanofluid, and fuzzy logic. Today, ma'am is going to take us through Python data types and programming. We welcome you, ma'am. I now request ma'am to take over the session.
Thank you, Leah. Good evening, participants. Today this session is all about Python data types, Python in data types. So I am requesting you to select the link given in the chat box. This link will take us to the Google Colaboratory. So directly we both can, since this session is a hands-on session, so we can work with the Google Colaboratory. So I have given a link in the chat box. Kindly take this link and let us work together. I hope all the participants are able to open a Google Colaboratory page. So take this link and go to the Google Colaboratory page, and it will ask for a sign in. You can sign in. Okay. Anyone is having a difficulty in opening the Google Colaboratory page? Okay. Okay. So we shall start this session now. We will discuss on the basic data types in Python. Data types are the types of data that we used in computer programming. So in basic, understanding the data type is very important because these are the data which we use in our programming language. So basically, there are 4 basic data types. The first one is called as integer. So integer is a positive or negative whole numbers without any decimal point. For example, I can say 3, minus 50, 1000, all these numbers represents the example for an integer. Then the second data type is float. Floats are the numbers with decimal points. So for example, we can see here 2.50, 0.5, 1000.0. All these numbers are the examples for float. So the next data type is string. String is an ordered sequence of characters enclosed in single or double quotes. So whatever the characters you are enclosing in the single or double quotes, that are represented as string. The next data type is Boolean type data type. So this represents the logical value indicating either true or false. So next, let us understand what is a variable. So variables are used to store a data in computer memory. Variables should start always with a letter or underscore symbol. For example, here we can see age is equal to 20. So basically, age represents a variable and equal to sign indicates we are assigning a value 20 to this variable. And another example here I have showed x is equal to 5. So, and as I said, variable can also start with the underscore symbol. So here the next example I have quoted here, underscore file is equal to 123. So variable can start with a letter or it can start with an underscore symbol. And there should not be a space among the variable. Example here, I have quoted the example here, teacher name is equal to Anand. So here we can see that in between teacher and name, there is a space. So if you specify like this variable name, then our program will throw an error. So in such cases, we can better use the underscore symbol. So here we should note that variable cannot, there should not be a variable. There should not be a space among the variable. So then in Python, we need not define the data type of a variable like other programming language. So we can use the type function, type, then the parenthesis function to know which class a variable or value belongs to. So now we understood the basic concepts. So now let us go to our Google Collaboratory page and then let us see how we can use the inbuilt function in the Python. So I hope everybody has opened the Google Collaboratory page, which I have shared through the chat. So anyone is yet to open, or you want me to send once again the link? Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. It would be beneficial if you could share, please.
Oh, okay, sir. Okay, sir. Yeah, now I think everybody got that link.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Yes, sir. It will ask for a sign in so that you can sign variables. So I just explained now what are the variables. So we know that variable should start with a letter. Here I have quoted one example, which you can see in the Google Collaboratory page, whatever I have shared. So we have got here age is equal to 20. I'm assigning a value 20 to this variable age. Now we want to type this age. Okay, so now let us run this code. You also simultaneously can run. Okay, so if you're running the code, so what we are seeing here, we are seeing that this variable represents this value represents an integer value. So now I'm having here another example. I have assigned x as equal to 5.678. So now if I want to know the type of this variable, then in Python we have to use type x, because like other programming language, we need not specify here the data type of a variable. If I want to know the data type of this variable, then just use the function type x. Okay, so now let us see what type of variable is this. So now I'm going to run this page. So now we notice that the output we saw, it's a float. That means 5.678 represents a floating data. So now here, as I said, I have taken here the next example, teacher underscore name as equal to Anand. So whenever we are typing a string, we need to use either single quote or double quote. So now if I run this, then we shall see what is the output. So when we run this command, so we are seeing that the output represents a string. So this data type represents a string. So now here one more example I have taken, let A is equal to true. So now I am giving the function type A because this function will specify the data type of this variable. So now when we run this command, so we are seeing that this variable represents Boolean type. So now we saw that all these data types we saw here, all the basic data types. In addition, we also have the complex data type, but these are the basic data types that we use commonly. So in above example, as I said, we saw basic data types. So here, every variable can hold only a single value. I think there's some disturbance. So let me continue. Yeah. So in this, all this example, we saw that these are the variable are able to hold only a single value, right? So here we see here true. This is a single value. On. This is a single value. 5.678 assigned to this variable, which is a single value. So what we observed that in all this example, these data types are able to hold only a single value. But in certain program requirement, we may require to hold a group of values together. In such cases, we may require collection related data types. For example, we want to hold name of a student, the registration number, their marks, and suppose their email IDs. All this data, if I want to hold, then we may require collection related data types. So now let us see what are the collection related data types. So either you can collection related data types, or we can say advanced data types. In Python, the advanced data types are list, tuple, sets, and dictionary. All this comes under the advanced data types. So now let us see what is a list. So list is enclosed in a square bracket. So list is an ordered collection of similar or different data types separated by commas and enclosed within a square brackets. So for example, as you can see in the screen, so we have got here sports. Here sports is a variable, and then when you're assigning a value to the variable, there should be an equal to sign. So sports is equal to, then we have, these are all string, badminton, throwball, and basketball. So they are enclosed in the square brackets. They're enclosed with the double quotes. So then another example here I have taken, L is equal to 1, Gerin, computer, 76.30 and true. So here 1 is what kind of number? 1 is an integer, and Gerin and computer represents the string, 76.30 represents a floating point, and true represents the Boolean value. So we can see that in list, we can list the multiple objects. So we can so that's what is the helpful of using the list. So in list we can have a duplicate values also. See here the example. Here 4 is repeated, right? As well as 3 is also repeated, and 5 is also repeated. So in string, we can have duplicate values also. And then the index of the list starts at 0. That means the first element is considered as 0. The second element in the list is considered as 1, like that. Okay, so the list index of the list starts at 0. Then Python is mutable. Then we say Python lists are mutable. Why we say mutable? We will run some functions, and then let us understand why we are saying Python lists are mutable. Okay, so now let us come to the Google Collaboratory page, and then let us see what are the functions available in the list. So as I said, list is an ordered collection of objects. Why we are saying it is an ordered collection of objects? So as you have this command in your page, so run this command, then you see what is the output you are going to get. So you are able to run the command now. So what's the output you are going to get?
Badminton, throw ball, basketball.
You got the output as you have entered, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, you got the output as you have entered in the list. So that is why we say this as the ordered collection of objects, right? So because you first we entered badminton and you saw in your output, you got the output also as badminton. And then the second one we entered here throw ball and you got the output also in your list, whatever the output you got in your page, you got that as a throw ball, right? So that is why we say list is a collection of objects. Then coming to so the first point is clear, right? So list is an ordered collection of objects. So next, we want to verify whether whatever I entered, that is a list or not, right? So we have taken a list here. Let us please come to the second example here. So to verify whether variable in cities is a list or not, take this example. So here cities are, I have taken here Chennai, Bangalore, and then I have taken here the integer value 2, and the next value I have taken 35.2 and true. For me, it looks like it is a list because it is containing all the integer, floating point, or the Boolean values. So, but we need to verify whether it is a list or not, whether whatever the data we entered, it's a list or not. To verify that, we use the function. Just you can also type cities, or you can also use print type cities. So if you please run the command, then what you are getting? Are you able to what?
Class and cities, ma'am. It gives class in the thing. It gives us a list.
Yeah, you got that means it is mentioned as that whatever the example you have taken, that is belongs to the class list. Is it right? That is what that only we wanted to verify. So now suppose I want to, so that I think there is no doubt with that example. Is it right? So let us see the next another function. The next function which I want to see is I want to count number of elements in this list, right? So I have a list. Elements in this list as 2, 10, 15, 3, 2, 4, 45, 56, 40, 10, and 10, right? So I want to count the number of elements in list. So now, if I run this command, then you please run the command in your page. What you are getting? You are getting this as 10. Is it right? Number of elements in the list. Are you getting 10?
Yes, madam.
Yes, that indicates in this particular list, we have got 10 datas. Okay, so next, let us see the another function. Suppose I want to, here we say that when I was saying about the list, I said index of the list starts at 0, right? That means the first element is 2. The second, the first element here is considered as 0. And the second element, we see here 10, but that is considered as 1 according to the Python. So now I want to know what is the first element here. So if I want to know the index of the element, I give the command as L, then the square bracket 0. So then if you run this command, so you should be getting the index of, you should be getting the answer. What did you get in your, when you run the command, did you get it as 2?
3.
You got that as 3.
Yes, madam.
3 was the first element. No, maybe because some changes are happening because it is shared to everyone. So that is the thing maybe. So if I take here L of 0, then I should be getting the first element. You see here in my page, I got the first element as 2, right? So now I want to access the last element in this list. Then what I will give, I can give the command L of -1. So that will give me the last element in the list. So here the last element is 10. So I got this list last element as 10. So similarly, if you want to index any element, so suppose you want to index the third element, then we can type here L3. Then you will be getting the third element in this list. So third element is 3, is it right? Because my first element is 0, the second element is 1, like that goes on. That's why the third element in this list, whatever I have considered, that happens to be 3. So I think this function is clear to you. Shall I go to the next function? Yeah. So next I want to check how many times a data is repeated. See, I want to check here, for example, 10, how many times it is repeated. Then which is the function I use? I use the function L dot count, whatever I want to check. Suppose here I want to check how many times the 10 is repeated. Then I use the function L is here is a variable. Here L is a variable and I use L dot count, and whichever the element I want to check, I can specify inside this parenthesis. Then when you run the code, it will say how many times the particular element is repeated. So here 10 is repeated 3 number of times. So did you get the same answer? Suppose I will take one more example here. I will take 3 and 3. I will take, and then I want to check here how many times the 3 is repeated. So you can also modify in your page whatever I have shared with you. So we can see here 10 is 3 is repeated only 3 number of times. So I think this function is clear to you people. So suppose
Yes.
let us take now some string and let us see whether I can see. So I will take here Ravi. And then I want to count here how many times Ravi is repeated. Then I will put, let me take inside the parenthesis Ravi. And then, so here it is case sensitive. Therefore, we have to be careful when we are typing. See here Ravi, I have taken here Ravi and it is only one time I have taken Ravi. Therefore, it shows that Ravi is only one count. I think this function is clear to you. So let us move on to the next function in the list. So suppose I want to add any element to the list, so which is already existing. So then which function I can take? I can take here L append. Append function will say us the element is added to the list. So here, when I say the append function, the element will be added at the last. It will not be added in the beginning or the middle. It will be added at the last in the list. So now I have taken here L dot append. So L is my variable here and append is the function which I'm calling, and I want to insert 1000 as well as I want to insert -1 as well as I wanted to insert 0. Now let us see how the, okay, so now it is throwing an error. So better I will say what is my L. So now I'll mentioning what is my L, and then let us run this command. So now again, I'll reload this page. You can also do that. You have a, you can run the command and then check what you are getting. So have you people tried?
Yes. 2, 10,
Yeah.
15.
So you in your page it is added, right? Okay.
What input string numbers? But yes.
2, 10, 15, 3, 2, 45, 56, 40, 10, 10, 1000, -1, 0.
Yeah. So okay. Okay. So you are able to. Yeah, I know. I don't know why for me it is coming error, but for you people it is showing, right? Okay. Yeah. So now let us go to the next function. I want to remove an element from the list. We saw now how to add an element to the list. So now let us see how to remove an element from the list. So in order to remove an element from the list, suppose I want to here Ravi, I want to remove here Ravi from the list. So what is the function we have to call for this? We have to introduce remove. So L1 is my data. So L1 is my list, which is a variable. And from this variable, I want to remove Ravi. So therefore, we shall use the function called remove. So L1 dot remove. So I want to remove Ravi. So now let us give print L. So you just check what is the output you are getting. Is Ravi is removed? In your screen. Just give me 1 second break, and by that time you can try.
Two comma 61 comma Raju comma true. Am I audible?
Okay, sorry, just I wanted to check why I was getting error, because you people are, when you're running, you are getting the output, but I was not getting the output. So just as checking that. Okay, it's fine. So for your Ravi is removed, right? You can also try. You can remove, you want to remove Raju. In here you have got your, you just put here instead of Ravi, you take here Raju, whatever you want. You want to remove true, you put here true. Otherwise, you just, because you have to, whenever you are instructing you are taking the string, you need to put in the singular double quote. So just put here L1 remove 61 in your Google Collaboratory page, and just check whether you are getting the required answer. Is it whatever you want to remove, whether it is removed? You can always modify in your page. Yeah, is it done? Shall we go to the next function?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Okay, fine. So now let us see here. List also supports an index, right? So that is why. So suppose I want to here know what's the index, what's the position of Bangalore. Okay. So I want to know where the Bangalore is located in my data set. So in order to that is nothing but I want to know the index of any element. So in such cases, what we will do, we can here L2 is my variable, and I use the function L2 dot index. So in such case, then I want to know where the Bangalore is located in this set. So now we shall run this command. So now it says that Bangalore is at the third position here, right? So if you count also, 0 place is 12, first place is at 34, 56 is located at the second place, and Bangalore is located at the third place. That's what we got the answer. Bangalore is located at the third position. So if you want to check, if you want to, let us take another example here. So I want to see here where 34.78 is located. So 34.78. So I want to check this. So now let us run this command. So it says that it is located at the fifth position. So I think this is clear to you people. So now shall we move on? So next is I want to replace an element with the other element. So that means I want to replace here the first number. The first number is 12. 12 is located at the 0 position, right? So I want to replace this 12. That means the 12 is at the first position, that is called as 0 in the Python. So I want to remove, instead of 12, I want to have 1000. So similarly, I want to, the position, the third element, I want to replace with Karnataka. So now let us see whether, how to replace this, right? So in order to replace this, we are just using L2, then square bracket, then 0. So here L2 is my variable, and L2 3. Why 3 here? Because I want to replace the third position element with Karnataka. So now let us run and see whether it is replaced here. So is it replaced here? Yes. 12. I wanted to replace 12 with 1000 because 12 is at the index 0. See here, 1000 we have replaced. And then in the third position, what I'm having Bangalore. So I want to replace that with Karnataka. So I have replaced here. So this is how we can replace any element in the list with the other element. So I think this is clear to you. So you also have the same code. You can try, you can run and check. Are you getting the same answer? Is there any doubt till here?
No, ma'am.
Oh, okay, fine. Okay. Okay. So now we shall see. I want to insert a new element which is already existing. So list is already there. I have got some element, but I want to insert a new element to this list. Okay. So where I want to insert at the first position. That is indexing starts at 0 here. So that is why I want to I want to insert at the 0th position, first position. So that is why I have taken here 0. Then you should put a comma, and then I want to insert at the first position quantitative techniques for management. So hence it's a string. That is why I have put here in the double quote. And now let us and what is my course here? Course represents a variable. So here we have got a variable which is already existing with some subject. I want to insert quantitative techniques for management in the first position. So now this is the function for that. Course is the variable, course dot insert. So then let us see whether quantitative techniques for management, which I wanted to insert in the first position, whether it is inserted. As you see in the output, it is inserted, right? So quantitative techniques for management now became the first element here. So I suppose you also got the same output. So suppose you are not interested in inserting at the first position. You want to insert at the third position. And then just let us see whether it is inserted now. See here, this is the third position, right? First position is at first place. We have financial accounting for manager. Next, contemporary marketing. Like that, you can see third position, we have got quantitative techniques for management. So this is how we can insert a new element to the existing list. So is there any doubt? If there is no doubt, let us see the other function. So suppose in list, we can also, there is a command for sort. By using this, we can arrange the elements in the ascending order. So here you can see here, I have got a variable called marks, and marks are not arranged, right? So now suppose I want to arrange this in the increasing order. So then what is the option? What's the function? Marks dot sort, and just put an empty parenthesis. And now print marks. So let us see whether it is arranged. So you can see that the data are arranged, right? So you also have the same page. So just go to the print and then see whether the data are arranged. So now the data are arranged in the ascending order. So suppose we want to arrange them in the descending order. So then what we will do? So we call a function marks dot sort. Here what's my marks? Marks is a variable. So marks dot sort. And then we call the function reverse is equal to true. So here true should be a T should be a capital letter. If you keep small letter, then this function will not work. Okay, because Python is a case sensitive. So then print marks, if I give this option, so we can see when we run this code, see here numbers are arranged in the descending order. So this is clear, suppose. So you also got the same answer, I suppose. So now let us see the other function. So that is the slicing operation. So what is slicing? In list, suppose I want to access the element from any position. So here I have taken an example where I want to access the element from 2nd to 5th. So then we call the function marks here. Marks is my variable, and I will put square bracket, then 2:5. this will help me to access the element from 2nd to 5th position. So let us run this command and then let us check. See here, my second, I want to access the element from the 2nd to 5th position. So second element you can see here 45, and the third element is 78, and the fourth element is 40. So when I give this command, the fifth, I will not be getting the fifth element. I will be getting 4 minus 1. Okay, the last but one. So that is so I got here the output as 45, 78, and 40. Suppose you want to access the element from first to, say, we know that in this set there are 10 elements that we saw earlier. So suppose I want to access the element from 1 to 6th position. So then change your command. So you will get the element from first to the fifth element, because the 6th element will not be executed. So this is the command. So first position we have got 100, like that it goes on up to 5th element. So I suppose this command is familiar to you now, you have understood. So now let us see, if I want to find minimum element in the list, what is the process? So here again I have taken a list as marks, and all these are the marks I have specified in my list, and then I want to find the minimum marks. So now let us, what is the function for the, just put minimum and then the variable is marks here. So then when we run this code, we see that the minimum marks is 40. So similarly, you want to find the maximum marks. Then again marks. Then you can give here command maximum marks. So then you can see that the output will be 100. So in this list, the maximum marks is 100. So participants, please, I have shared with you the Google Colaboratory page. So with me, you can also run the command and then check whether you are getting what is the output. You can also verify. Okay. So this is all about list. So here I said that a list is a mutable, right? So why we am telling it is a mutable? Because you saw that what are the operations I have done here? I have done here many operations. In that I have added the element, I have removed the element, I have replaced the element, right? So hence we saw that list is a mutable. That means we can make a change in the list which is already existing. That is why we say that list is mutable. So this is all about list. So now let us go to the another collection under the collection database. Let us go to the next collection type, that is the tuple. Okay, so tuple is an ordered collection of similar or different data types separated by commas and enclosed with circular brackets. The list and tuple only difference is, so there we are enclosing with the square brackets. Here we are enclosing the element with the circular brackets. And it is also an ordered collection of objects. And then the index of this tuple also starts at 0. The indexing also starts at 0. And tuple also can have duplicate elements like list. See here, I have quoted an example here. Here my x is a tuple variable, which is a tuple because I have enclosed the data in a circular brackets. And then here the data 1, the integer is repeated twice here. And then gerund is a string, computer is also a string, and 76.30 is a floating point, and true is a Boolean data type. So this is an example of a string. It can hold multiple objects. The only difference between list and tuple is that tuple is not mutable. Okay, why we say it as immutable? Let us run some examples and understand the function, and let us see why we call it as an immutable. Okay, so now again let us come back to our Colaboratory page here. So now you can see here under the tuple, so I have got the variable as languages, and then that is enclosed within the circular brackets. And then I have got here string Python, and the second next I have got here Java, and then I have got here C. And now I want to print here languages. Now let us run this command and let us see what happens. Right? So when we run this command, we are able to see that the output is same as we have entered, right? So I enter Python is in the 0th place, Java is then in the next place, and C in the next place. So when I run this command, I can see that the same it is retained, right? So that is why we say that tuple is an ordered collection of similar or different types of objects, and they are separated with the comma and enclosed in the circular brackets. So now I want to see, we want to check, right? So whether whatever we entered whatever we consider that represents a tuple or not. So when I want to verify the data type, so what is the function I need to call? I need to call the function type and the parenthesis and write the variable here. Here the variable is T1, as we did it in the list same way. So I want to verify which data type it is belong to. So when I want to check, I should call a function type, then the variable inside the parenthesis. Now let us run this. Then what is the output we are getting? We are getting the output as tuple. That means this data type represents the tuple. So this is next. I already said just now that tuples are immutable, right? Why it is immutable? See, for example, suppose I want to replace here, like in the list, I want to replace here 23 with 5,000, right? I have 23 at the first position. Then I at the 0th position, we call it as 0th position. So I want to replace here 23 with 5,000. So now for that, how do we write? We write the command as T1, then enclosed with the square bracket 0, because I want to replace in the first position. So then 5,000, I want to replace 23 with 5,000. So now let us see when we run this command, what is the output. See, we are getting an error message. Error message means we cannot use this. Replacing is not possible in the tuple. That is why we are getting it as an error message. Suppose again, I want to see whether I can add an element. Okay, replacing is not possible. So let us see whether I can add an element to the tuple, right? So in list, you saw that when you want to add an element, what is the function we called? We called the function as append. So similarly here, T1 is my variable, and append, I want to add 1,000 to this tuple T1, which is already existing. Let us see whether it is possible. So now I'll give print T1, and then let us run this. So you also have the Google Collaboratory page with you. Please run that command. So now what is getting? You are getting an error message because we say tuple is immutable. You cannot add an element to the tuple. So now let us see. We are not able to add. We are not able to replace. Let us see whether we can delete an element in the tuple. So to delete an element in the tuple, so like list, same function. So here T1 is my variable, whatever I have defined here, as you see in your page. And then I'm calling the function remove. And which one I wanted to remove? I wanted to remove 23. So now print T1. So let us see whether 23 is removed now. So when you are running, are you getting an error command there? You are getting an error message. Participants,
Yes,
are you? Yes, you got an error message. That means we cannot add, we cannot delete, we cannot replace an element in the tuple. That is why we say tuple as immutable, whereas list we are able to do all this process. That is why list was said to be an mutable. Okay, this is the difference. So now let us see whether indexing is possible in tuple. So let us see where indexing means what? I want to access the element in the first position. Okay, suppose I want to access the element in the first position. So here my cities is a variable, and as you see here, they are Chennai, Bangalore, and New Delhi. So I want to know which is the element or which is the object in the first position. So here my city is a variable. So now if I run this command, then what we are getting? We are print, because since I gave print cities, it is printing all the cities. And then I wanted to print, I wanted to access the element in the first position. So that is Bangalore here. So which I'm able to access through this command. I suppose everybody got the same thing. Suppose you want to access here the element in the 0th position. Then here type here 0 and then run this. You see here, you got here in the element of the first 0th position, you have got here Chennai. So that is how you can make certain changes here. So now let us see whether slicing is possible in the tuple. So slicing means what? I want to access part of this tuple, whatever is already existing. So that means I want to exist, suppose, element from 2nd to the 5th position. Then like we did in the list. So now same way as the command we gave in the list, here my T2 is an tuple and I want to access the element from 2nd to 5th. 2nd means what? I want to get the element from 3rd, right? 30. From 30, I want to get the element. Let us see. Let us run this command and see, right? So this is the command to access the element. This is the from 2nd to 5th position. So if you want to access from 0th to 5th position, that also we can do it here. So now let us see what is the output. See, this is the output. So we first 0 means it's the first position, right? So because the indexing starts from 0, I'm able to access the data from the 1st to 5th position. As I said, the 5th position will not be able to get. Up to till 4th place will be able to get the element. So this is all about tuple. So as I said, tuple is immutable, and you also saw why it is called as immutable. So I think there is no doubt. So let us go to the next function. Next data type. Yeah. So the next data type is set. So set is a collection of items of different data types similar to list and tuple. But in the set is indicated by curly brackets. And the only difference between set is that set is an unordered collection of objects, whereas tuple and list are ordered collection of objects, whereas set is an unordered collection of objects. And set will not store any duplicate values, and set is immutable. And then we can have mathematical operations like union, intersection. All these operations are possible in the case of sets. Okay, so example here I have quoted here. So set also can have the integer. It can also have the floating point, as well as it can also have the string. So now let us see. Let us come back to our collaboratory. So now here I said here set is an unordered collection of objects, right? So why I say unordered, and I also said set cannot store duplicate values. So let us see why I said and how it works. So let me run this command. See here, my first whatever I entered, when I entered the first position, I have got Chennai. But you see the output, first position, what I have got? We have got 2. And then we have got New Delhi, whereas New Delhi is at here, the last position, right? So that is why we say here, the set is an unordered collection of unique items. Why we say unique items? See here, duplicate was there. 2 was repeated, right? But when we are seeing the output, the duplication we are not able to see here, right? That is why we say here, set is an unordered collection of unique items. So I think this is clear to you. So now, whether we can add an element to the set which is already existing. Yes, it is possible. To add, what we do, we call a function. We cannot call here append. Why we cannot call an append? Append, when we use the append function, the element will be added at the last, right? We saw in the first example in the list, when we call the append function, the element was added at the last. But in set, order is not important. It is an unordered collection of objects. So hence, we cannot use here append function. Instead of that, we can use here add function. So here my S is a variable, so which is a set. And then I want to add 500 to this existing set. So that is why we will give here S dot add 500. Let us see whether 500 is added. Yeah, can you see 500 is added? Yes, 500 is added at the second position, right? Here, first position, sorry. It is added at the first position because 112 is my 0th position. So in set, addition of element is possible. So now let us see whether we can remove an element from the set, right? Here my set is this. You can, as you see here, and then I want to remove the 5000, which is already existing. So now S1 remove 5,000 and let us print here. Let us run this command. So are you able to see in your node collaboratory page whether 5,000 is removed? Yes. Yeah, you can see it
Yes,
will be
ma'am.
removed. Yeah, thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. So again, whatever you want to remove, just instead of 5,000, you want to remove 3,000 here, replace 5,000 with the 3,000, you will be getting the, you will see that the 3,000 will be removed. Yes. So now I already said set are immutable, right? Just now I said set are immutable. Why? See here, I want to replace. Here, replace function will not work. I want to replace Ravi with Hari. So then what I'll give, because Ravi is at the first, it is at the indexing here 0th position. So I want to remove here Ravi. Instead of Ravi, I want to add here Hari. So just I gave the, as we did it in the tuple and the list, I want to add here Hari. So is it, see here, what will happen? So you see here, I got, it is throwing an error message, right? That means what? Replacing is not possible in, not possible. Can you say why it is not possible? Participants, can you say why it is not possible? Any idea? Okay, so since we are running short of time, I will only reply. It is not possible because here it is an unordered. You don't know where to replace because it's an unordered. Where Ravi falls, it is not understanding, right? Because set is an unordered collection of objects. That is why replacing will not work in this sets. So similarly, I want to index. See here in the next program, I want to index the element present in the first position, right? S0, I have called the function S0. Now, whether it will work, it will run? No, it is again throwing an error message. This is because in this function, it is not understanding. Python is not understanding in 0th position which element will fall, because indexing is there in the set. It is an unordered. That is why we are not able to access the element as we want. So similarly, slicing, I wanted to say about this slicing, and it is again same thing. Slicing is also not possible because slicing is based on the index, and here order is not important in the set. It is an unordered collection of objects. That is why all these functions are not possible. We cannot replace, we cannot index, we cannot access the element. Okay, so I think you all understood all about set. So now let us go to the next and the last under the advanced data type, that is the dictionary. Okay, so in dictionary, we all have seen a dictionary, right? How dictionary will look? In a dictionary, you have a word as well as you have a meaning to that word. Is it right? So similarly, in the Python dictionary, we will have a key as well as we'll have a value. So, and then it is used for, why it is useful? It is useful for storing a database. So now let us see what are the functions we can use it in the dictionary. So as I said, dictionary will have a key and a value. Let us come to this collaboratory page. See here, I have got an example. 100 is the, suppose 100 is the marks scored by Durga, 200 is the marks scored by Ravi, 300 is the marks scored by Ram. Now I want to see whether this represents a dictionary. So for that, what is the function I need to call? I need to call type, then parenthesis T. So now let us see what is the output. See here, the output indicates it is a dictionary. Okay, so now I want to access these. See here in the second example, I have got capitals and then I have got capitals of each country. So now I want to access the capital of India. So what's the function I have to call? I have to call capitals.get. So then whatever the country I want to access, here I wanted to find the capitals of India. So let us see what is the output. So I got here New Delhi. So like that, you can use this function. And then key should be unique. Okay, in the dictionary, key should be unique. Okay, if you have more than one key, what will happen? The latest only will be considered. See here, I have got here in the first place, my key is name, and here it is Ravi. In this example, you can also see here, my name is my key, and then here Smita is also there. It is repeated, is it right? But I said here, key should be unique. But in my example, it is repeated. Then let us see what will be the output, right? When I print D, you see the command that the first one is not considered, right? So only it is considering the Smita. Again, it is an unordered collection dictionary because the order is not maintained here, right? See, that is why we say key should be unique in the dictionary. So if there are duplicate keys are there, the last value will be taken as the assigned value. So this is the another property of the dictionary. So now what another next property is one value can be assigned to more than one key. Okay, so what is that meaning? See here, I have got the key here. You can please look into this example. I've got here section C with the same student Ram. In section D also I have got the same student Ram. In section F also I have got the same student Ram, right? So here values are repeated, but keys are not repeated, right? So this can happen in the dictionary. Now we can run this. Then also it will take, and it is telling it is a dictionary. This is possible in the dictionary. Just give me 1 minute. I will go through with another 2 examples here. Okay. So now I want to add one more value to the key value, because here we have got an existing key. So for this key, I want to add one more key. Is it possible? Yes. For that, I have just like I am calling here D. D is my variable, and I want to add state to this existing key. That's why I give D state, because it is a string. So I'm giving in the single quote. And then Karnataka I want to add. So let us see whether it is added. So you can run in command in your collaboratory page, and then you see that state Karnataka is added, right? Yeah. So now whether can I delete a key value? Yes, it's a possible. For that, which function I should call? I should call the function not delete, like the or remove, like unlike whatever we used in the other list and the set. I have to call here pop function. So when I call a D is my dictionary, I'm calling a pop function, and then I want to delete this name. I want to delete this key value name. So now when you run this output, you see here the name Ravi is not present here, right? Yeah, this is all about the functions, what we can use, built-in functions, which we can use in our advanced data types. Is there any doubt? Okay. So is there any doubt? If there is no doubt, we can end this session.
Aarti ma'am, any announcement, ma'am? So participants access the Google Classroom. So this video will also be posted in the Google Classroom. The code link also will share it in the Google Classroom. So if there is no doubts, then we can end the meeting, ma'am. Mamta ma'am.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am, for the insightful session. We'll meet tomorrow. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.